So one of my clients asked me, how do you know the difference between someone who's love bombing you and someone who has real intentions? This was my answer, along with 3 ways that you can regain your power. But first, if you're determined to take charge of your dating life, like this video, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell for more empowering insights. All right, let's get vulnerable for a moment. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by someone's sudden shower of affection and questioned how authentic it was? Well, you're definitely not alone, I can tell you that. And sometimes in these situations, it's essential to take a step back and give yourself time to understand the intention behind that affection. Imagine my client Maria's story, a hardworking professional, a dedicated mother, and like many of you, looking for a genuine connection. They met online, had sparks flying during 2 nights of late night chats. Everything felt really perfect. Brian, the man she was connecting with, was all in, and he wanted to travel to meet Maria immediately, saying all the right things and promising genuine intentions. Maria made it clear that she didn't want to hook up with Brian, and Brian reassured her that it was just to see one another and nothing more. So Maria agreed to see Brian, and he traveled a couple of hours, rented a local Airbnb to meet with Maria. When they met, Brian said things like, "I want to focus just on us." And he said, "I want to have good communications between us. I want to focus just on you." He was talking as if they were already a couple. He even said he was a bit jealous and possessive. Maria felt connected to Brian and was swept off her feet, and before you know it, they spent a steaming night together. The next day, Brian traveled home, and messages from Brian, though, quickly slowed down and became really infrequent, and Maria felt confused and she felt upset. Maria even found out that Brian was back on the dating app quite quickly. Ladies, this is the essence of love bombing. It's a mirage. It's a fleeting feeling of something that we deeply yearn for, but it's not rooted in reality. In this case, Maria yearned for a relationship, which is not at all unreasonable. But here's the twist. Love bombing is either a gross projection or a manipulation. In this scenario, Brian was projecting a relationship with Maria and speaking as if they were already an established couple, with statements like, "I only want to focus on us. I only want to focus on you. Let's keep communication great between us," which shows that something's unhealthy with Brian. Or it was a manipulation technique, so Brian could get what he wanted, and in this case, it seemed like one fun night, making his ego feel good and leaving Maria feeling drained with nothing in return. So what's the game plan? How do we gain our power back in such scenarios? Number 1, slow it down. If it feels rushed, it probably is. Love bombers thrive in swift scenarios. I remember one guy I met online who flooded me with compliments and told me in all sincerity that he wanted a serious relationship. After chatting for a couple of hours, he wanted me to meet him for a drink that same night, which happened to be a Tuesday at 11 p.m. When I said it was too late and I had work the next day, he said he loved to live with passion and that the best meetings at work the next day were after a satisfying night out. This was, of course, a major red flag, since the speed with which this man wanted to meet was a clear sign that his intentions of wanting a serious relationship were manipulative and not genuine. So the advantage of taking your time allows you to better differentiate between authentic affection and manipulative tactics. Always trust your instincts and remember that real intentions stand the test of time. All right, number 2, pay attention to his language. If he is lavishing you with waves of compliments when he hardly knows you, and most importantly, projecting you into a relationship with him before you've gotten to know each other, be vigilant. As we saw with Maria, there's either gross projections or manipulations happening here. Assess the situation critically and question the authenticity behind his words. Number 3, set boundaries. Be clear about what you're comfortable with, whether it's traveling, meeting, or the pace of the relationship. And actually, on the topic of meeting, if he's unwilling to meet you halfway somewhere, it's a bad sign. I have a client who was invited on a date by a man who said he loved to spoil women in his life. But as they began making plans, he kept leaving her hanging and eventually wanted her to come near his place for for the date. Whenever there's a lot of work for you and none for him, this is a red flag. If he's not willing to meet you halfway or come near you for the date that he's inviting you on, something isn't right in that picture. Mutual effort is key, of course, to building a genuine connection. Ladies, while there might be pitfalls in the world of dating, there's also lots of genuine souls looking for real love just like you. So be aware of what's happening and be hopeful. Know that you have the power to find and nurture genuine love. Stay strong, stay empowered, and remember to always love yourself first. If you found this valuable, don't forget to check out my online dating tips linked below, and of course subscribe for more empowering conversations. Until next time, sending you lots of love.